SANDHAN. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Namaskar. My name is Vaseem Qureshi, Assistant Professor in English at Vishwakarma Government Engineering College. And as you know, today we have to discuss about email writing. Now, very first question comes to our mind, what does it mean by email, electronic mail, as you say, and that is a full form of email. Many thousand years back, when primitive man, Adi Manav lived, even in that situation, they had telecommunication. They expressed their views, their feelings by certain sign language, quotes, pictures. Gradually, when they live apart, they had a kind of system, right, for sending the messages. We know that back in long back past, in past, we had pigeons taking your messages to some recipients, and the receivers will receive the message, they'll send back their messages using pigeons. Even in India, many years back, we had horse riders. They would ride on the horses and they would be the messengers. In that sense, we had telecommunication, Sandesha Vyavahar, that was very unique, identity of any civilization in any age. Recently in India, we had just closed down the tar system, the telegram system. That was the ancient, right? For many years, it has been there. And from the world itself, that system has been closed very recently. Now in today's world, when the world is at the tip of the finger, and the world comes to your desktop at a just a click. We are living in highly technological world. That communication, that telecommunication is very, very fast, and we have internet, right, at our computers. We have internet even in our mobiles. We have internet in tablets, and we have many varieties of applications, advantages and functions out of internet. One of the very important, very frequently and very old one is the email writing. Just by clicking send button, you can send the message to any of the person from anywhere in the world within a second, and that person can reply you in a fraction of a second. So that facility has been here in the world of today's generation. That is blessing for us. Today we have to discuss about the email writing. You know how to write a letter. You have learnt how to write a correct letter from top to bottom, from the beginning of your letter to the end of the letter. There are so many things which you have to keep in your mind. You can have the address of the sender, then you can have date, then you can have name and the address and designation of the receiver, then you can have subject line, then there is salutation, then main body of the letter. It can have many paragraphs. The first paragraphs would talk you about the intention. The middle paragraphs would talk about the real essence of the letter, what they actually want to convey. And then the last paragraph, it will talk about the leave taking. I mean, it will tell you some hope, request, something like that. And then we would have complimentary close. Some occasional parts are also added into that format. But when we think of an email writing, right, keeping the comparison with the letter writing, many things are very parallel, but there are certain things which you should not do when you write emails. In letter writing, basically you have the sender's name and the address. Here the sender's address should not be written, not even the name of the sender, because when you send an email, automatically your email ID, that is your name as well as your address, right, will reach the person, and that person will identify that yes, this person has sent me the mail. So no need to write sender's name and address, at the beginning of the page. The second thing is the recipient's address. Here we have to write recipient's address, name, designation, right, because it is a letter. Here you can mention the name and the designation, but you should not write the address, because here the address of the recipient is not an address which we generally follow here in letter. Here in email, the address is the person's email ID, email identification. So that is the address. So that will be given when you write to. After to, you have to write the address of that person. When you write a letter, you mention date. We have cardinal style of date, we have British style, we have open punctuation, close punctuation. We have discussed much about that in letter writing. Here in email writings, you don't have to write date. When you click send button, automatically when the email reaches the person, it will reach with exact mention of the exact name, date, as well as the time. It will indicate the hour, minute, and even the second. So that is very important. So you don't have to worry about the date. And the last one, the subject line. Subject line are important in both the letters, whether it is letter writing, whether it is email writing. But in letter writing, you have subject line either before the salutation or after the salutation. But here there is special block, right? There is a rectangle in which you have to write subject line. When I send an email to you, right, it will indicate at your email that Mr. Vaseem Qureshi has sent one mail, and it will be highlighted. My subject line will be highlighted, so you can easily understand what is the message would be there in that message, in that email. So these are basically differences between a letter writing and an email writing, right? Now we just go to the essentials of email etiquettes. As you know that email is a short form of electronic mail, and this electronic mail is so much fast that we can say that our regular post mails are considered as snail mail. Snail walks so much slowly. So the post mail, general mail, right, postage mail, they are called snail mail. Electronic mail is very fast, and it has quickly become a communication standard and the internet's most popular application, right? So it has become a communication standard, right? If you ask me about my address, and if I give you my address, basically with address I have to tell you my email ID. If I don't have any email ID, that is considered as I don't know much about internet. And there are so many people, they have email IDs. If they don't know them, if they don't use them, that is also a kind of backwardness in today's world. So when you have email IDs and when you use them and when you communicate with the world using your email IDs, it's very fast, it's very safe, it's very effective. That's why it has become a communication standard. Okay, and as we have discussed that internet provides many other facilities. You can download many things, you can upload many things, you can have videos, you can have texts, you can have animations, you can have many things. But that email writing is the most popular application of internet, right? I believe that maximum of usage of internet is done because of this internet, this email. Now what makes email different? Mockingly, a dog is working on internet and another small dog asks a question, and the big dog says that on the internet nobody knows you are a dog, so you can play with it, right? And that's why I just want to make one very important point. When you prepare your email ID, it should not be like, say hi to me at yahoo.co.in. I repeat, say hi to me, SAY, there is no space, SAYHITOME @yahoo.co.in. Now, if you have written my email ID on a piece of paper and you have kept that piece of paper somewhere, nobody, or even after some time, you will not be able to identify whose email ID is that, right? But if there is an email ID like this, Vaseem_Qureshi @yahoo.co.in, so Vaseem Qureshi, it is already reflected in my email ID. So very easily a person can identify that this email ID belongs to Mr. Vaseem Qureshi. That's why on internet, if you have a fake account, nobody can identify you unless that is open up, that is revealed, right? Even on social networking sites, when you prepare your profile, right, you should write your name, your real identity, so your real friends, not fake friends, the real friends can identify you and can come to your friends list. Otherwise it can be, once again a big problem. So nobody knows that you are a dog. That's why I'm working on internet. Yes, when you use internet, especially for email writings, there are so many things which you have to keep in your mind. There are so many do's and there are so many don'ts. So let's have a look at these do's and don'ts. Now there are two questions for which you have to give me the answers. Can you identify the email facility provider or providers? There are four options: yahoo.com, google.com, gmail.com and wikipedia.com. Can you identify the email facility provider? If I go to internet and in the URL space, universal resource locator, when I go there, if I type yahoo.com, can I go for an application, can I go for a facility in that website which provides me to do email writing? Yes. So yahoo.com is an email facility provider. What about google.com? When you go to google.com, so you can't, right? Because Google is a search engine. If you want to search something, if you want to search for Vaseem Qureshi's profile, you can go to google.com, type the name, click on it, and you can have some things which are there on internet for that particular subject or name. So google.com is not a email facility provider. Then we have gmail.com. Yes, okay, it's an email facility provider. And the fourth one is wikipedia.com. So Wikipedia is not a search engine, it's not an email facility provider, but it's a kind of encyclopedia, right? People can add into it, admin can admin it, and then it can be revealed for the world. Now the second question, can you identify the correct email ID? Now say hi to me at Gmail, say hi to me at yahoo_co_in, say hi to me at gmail.com, say hi to me _gmail.com. Now which one is the correct email ID? The third one. Now keep in your mind that @ a with a circle around it is called @ or at. Before that you can play with the words. You can say that say.hi.to.me @ it's fine. You can say _hi_to_me, it's fine. you can add some numericals. You can say 4, right? 1 2 3 4, I'm talking about that digit. Hi to me, it's fine. But after @ there must be a proper locator. So yahoo.co.in, that is correct. yahoo.com, that is correct. gmail.com, that is correct. rediffmail.com, that is correct. ymail.com, that is correct. But there you cannot have hyphen, you cannot have any other word. Now the very important when you write an email is you should have a clear purpose in your mind. Why you are writing that email? Before you type anything into a new message, you should have answers for these 2 questions, right? The question number 1, why am I writing this? What is the intention in your mind? Without any intention, you don't write an email. When you write an email to me, there must be some intention in your mind, right? So first of all, you have to keep that intention, that idea, that motive, that aim, objective clear in your mind. If the objective is clear, you can write up to the mark. You can have clear-cut ideas what you are going to write about, right? And in that sense only you will be able to write exactly. So first question, why am I writing this mail, right? And the second one, that is also very important, what exactly do I want the result of this message to be? So you keep the end of it, the expected end of it, before you write an email. For any kind of process, if you want to make a plan, right, basically you have to keep the end in your mind. When you keep the end in your mind, you can begin very nicely. So here also, when you send an email to me, suppose for any task, you have a kind of an end, expected desirable end in your mind, that after receiving